Christian Hacking here from CBR UK, bringing you the abortion news update this week. And what a week to speak. Our country is currently in uproar over the disgusting and unjust racial murder of George Floyd and others. Protests are being staged, statues are being toppled, and rightful demands for change are ringing out across our land. You could say that attitudes towards racial injustice are moving faster than ever. But what about attitudes towards abortion? Well, the 2019 abortion statistics came out today. You can find them on the Gov website. And it's got worse, significantly worse. Actually, these are the worst statistics on record since 1967. Now, if anyone thinks that abortion providers are interested in safe, legal and rare abortion, then please listen to the following and reconsider your position. In 2019, there were 209,519 abortions in total. That's a 3.4% increase from last year. 83,000 of these were repeat abortions. That's a 6% increase from last year. 3,183 were conducted on children because they had a disability. That's 53% increase in disability selective abortions since 2009. Right? It just goes to show, are we getting more tolerant? I'm not sure about that. In that number is included 656 children who were aborted simply because they had Down syndrome, again an increase from last year, and 126 selective terminations. So that's abortions that people have when they've got twins or triplets and they want to reduce that number, normally a byproduct of IVF. Finally, in that number, 17 abortions were conducted for cleft lip and palate, a curable condition that is currently being challenged by a bill in motion in the Commons trying to ban that procedure. It just goes to show its necessity. This stuff is still very much going on. But how have we got to this? How and why are these figures so high? Well, I can offer only one suggestion now, which is it's due to the normalisation of abortion in politics and the media. Most recent example being last week, Stella Creasy asking the question on abortion in Parliament with a 7-month-old baby in her hands. Right? Was the question to improve childcare measures or maternity rights? No, it was a request for the Northern Irish Secretary to guarantee women in Northern Ireland can destroy their unborn babies even if the Northern Irish Assembly refused. Now, she didn't phrase it like that. Of course, it was couched in human rights jargon, but really that's what she was saying. And the newspapers who covered this didn't criticise it one bit. They didn't question the presence of a baby at an abortion debate. They didn't question that it was against House of Commons rules, which it is. Instead, they simply quote and promote Stella's abortion message. And the message they're sending out is clear. An unwanted baby deserves no legal protection in the UK or Northern Ireland, whilst a wanted baby, well, they should be cuddled and if necessary used as a political prop. That's fine. Now this has to stop. We have to stop tolerating this kind of political play and schizophrenia amongst our politicians. And there's no more topical week to say so, because everyone will know of the gross and inhumane racial murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery in the USA, 3 black lives that didn't deserve to die. And people are also now living in the wake of those murders, the collective grief and pain reflected in protests and riots and calls for change, all sparked, I might add, by a graphic video posted online. That's the power of the image. But there's one more thing that needs to be said, which is one expression of these murders has been the toppling of statues. We've had Edward Colston in Bristol and King Leopold II in Antwerp. Why? Because both men were responsible for gross acts of racism and murder against the black community. Now, the destruction of these statues, some people argue is justifiable because of the psychological impact of these statues. Others say by erasing history, history's only going to repeat itself. But one thing's clear, if you read the history books, you'll realise that Colston and Leopold, they got away with their crimes. They died happy, rich men, praised by mankind, and were not in law courts and prison cells at the end of their lives. And that's because far too many people didn't challenge them whilst they were alive. You see, we can topple statues until the cows come home or until no brass or bronze is left in our cities, but unless we're willing to challenge the living players of injustice now, the Creases, the Faradis, the Amnesties, then nothing is going to change. And these abortion statistics are just going to keep on rising. That's a news update of me, Christian Hacking. Do subscribe, do donate to the work of CBR UK using the links below. Thank you very much for listening.